just look at it as a way to be involved in something together, but not needing to be attached at the hip.
Yeah, we don't.
Because it's like, we can come here to the gym and it's like, I don't need to talk to him if I don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's plenty of other people here that I like having conversations with. I don't need to be at his hip.
And that's another thing, like for us, it's like I think it's different for us too, because like we literally work out together, we work together. We are in the same Army unit. Like everything we do is together.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's great. Like we have our routine and it's awesome. Like we make it work and it works for us. But like sometimes you need your me time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that in terms of like the compromise and understanding, like we're really good with that. Like if we need our own space, I think all in all, find your routine
Mm-hmm.
and then go from there. But just have that routine because that helps a lot.
The Fitness Movement is brought to you by ZOAR Fitness. We offer coaching and individualized program design, as well as educational content for coaches and athletes. It's all at one place, ZOARFitness.com.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Hey, Ricky
Not being weird.
Well, sweet. Well, thanks for doing this, guys.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
of course.
You guys look so cute. You're kind of matchy-matchy.
We always do that unintentionally,
We do.
too.
You actually plan it, and then you go out in public. Oh, we didn't try it.
Well, no,
Yeah.
she just always wants to wear my stuff. So
No, I genuinely couldn't find mine.
So how long have you guys been married? It's totally in sync.
Almost.
You're like, oh, 17 years.
4 months, it'll be a month. I mean, 4 days. 4 days, it'll be a month.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
you just throw me for a loop. Yeah, almost a month already.
Mm-hmm.
So
Cool.
it's been fun.
And Haley, you grew up local, right?
Yeah, like in Williamsport.
Did you graduate from Williamsport?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What was little Haley like?
Dirty. Like I was
Ooh.
No, just listen. So I was always like outside playing in the woods. Like my grandparents had this lot we call Leisure Acres. So like we would go over there and I would like play in the woods and like I wasn't, you know, like I was just a very outdoorsy little kid.
Like tomboy?
Yeah, and then I like got older and decided I didn't want to be dirty all the time and be playing outside like that.
That's funny.
Did you like play any sports growing up? Were you involved in anything?
So like when I was younger, I did ballet, got out of that, and then I started basketball at a really young age, and then in middle school I started track as well. So then from middle school on, I did basketball and track.
What events did you run?
I did long jump, triple jump, pole vault once I got to high school, and
Nice.
then I did like 4x4, which I absolutely hated.
I don't feel like anyone who does 4x4 enjoys it.
I absolutely hated it.
Yeah, I actually pole vaulted a little bit in high school, and I was like, I would run the mile, and then I would go try to pole vault, and like steps would be like 2 feet off, and I'd be like, this is just a terrible idea. It's just bad. Like,
Yeah,
a
you
bad
couldn't
idea.
even make it on the mat because
No.
you just had no momentum, and you were just like, oh man, okay, I'll just fall in the blocks. It's whatever.
Yeah. And Michael, you grew up in Puerto Rico, right?
That's, I'd say half, yeah. And we moved out here when I was like 8 or 9. I think it was in 03. So it was like half there and then half here, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I'd like to say it. But yeah, primarily over there was fun. I mean, I remember most of it, but not like, I can't like remember like every
I was going to say, I
little bit.
mean, like, what'd you say, like 9?
Yeah, I was around there. I think I was 8 turning 9 when I
Okay.
came over here.
So you definitely have some memories.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of great memories. I mean, I still know my way around and everything. It's just like, as far as like the people and like how everything changed over there, obviously like it's different. So
Yeah.
I won't recognize people. People probably won't recognize me unless like they know my family. So
Yeah. Well, you were a little kid, so
Yeah.
you grew up a little bit.
a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So, did you speak English at all when you came?
No.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
And that
Know,
had
I
to be
didn't even know how to
super
say
tough.
hi. Yeah, it was hard. At first, it was really hard. I didn't really want
Yeah.
to go to school or anything, but you know, my brother and I got put in a program called ESL, so
Okay.
English as a second
Yep.
language, and but in a year, I think we were out of it. I picked up pretty good in about 6 months. In a full year, I was out, and I think my brother was like a year and a half, and then he was out as well.
Brother's older?
Yeah, my brother's older. Yeah, he's a year and a half older.
I feel like the older you are, it's just going to take a little longer.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. But, I mean, as soon as, once we started getting the hang of the language, then it became a lot easier. We didn't hate the world as much.
So who all in the family moved?
So it was my dad, my mom, my brother, and myself.
Okay.
Yeah, just us four moved out here.
How was that for your parents?
I think it was just as hard on them. In my opinion, it probably was harder on them, just because like they literally lived their entire lives over there. They had their friends, their families, everything, their careers, and so I think it was hard. But primarily, what kept them going was obviously trying to give us a better life and opportunity. So they kind of never complained and just dug in and did their thing. So,
Why'd you guys move?
So my mom got an opportunity to transfer out here. She's a nurse, and her company had opened up a position out here, and she wanted to take it, mainly because it opened up doors for my brother and I. So she was like, "Hey, let's make the sacrifice and do this for the kids." And my dad was on board, and next thing you know, we're leaving on August 28th I think it was a Wednesday or Thursday. I still remember that day. I didn't want to go.
That's crazy that you remember the exact date.
Yeah, I slept at my grandma's house the night before. Yeah.
I mean, that's like I feel like you remember like life-changing events. That's definitely a big life-changing event.
Oh, it was huge, yeah. And not at least it's not traumatic or anything. But.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in a way though, like you're leaving all your friends.
Yeah.
Like everything you know, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was like a big turning point, because like now when I look back in hindsight, it's like I never got to, like I see all my friends that grew up with each other and all that stuff. It's like I never get to say that. Like I never had that. I'm like, oh, we've been friends since we were like 5. You know what I mean? Like all these people that say that. So, I mean, it's not like a bad thing or a good thing. I mean, personally, it's not. I'm indifferent to it. Like I have great friends in my life and stuff, but it's just kind of those things when you look back. It's like, dang, like I've seen the kids that I grew up with. Ish, I'm still friends with someone in social media. One's a police officer. One's doing construction over there and stuff. And I'm like, wow, like how different my life would be. Like where would I be? But it is what it is. I have a good life now.
Where'd you guys move to?
So we moved from our first location was Lansdale, Pennsylvania, and then we did a couple of years there, and then we moved out to Florida for like 6 months or whatever it was, because my mom had to renew her license. So then we moved out there, and then we came back to the same place, to Lansdale. So we've kind of been
Lansdale around like KOP.
Yeah, it's just right outside. Well, not right outside, but it's about 45 to an hour from the city itself.
Philadelphia?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
From Philadelphia. So we moved out there, and then obviously went to school around there. My brother and I went away for college, and then we kind of gravitated back, and we ended up in King of Prussia. So, I mean, it's all we've known, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's nice. We like it. It's a lot to do over there. The city life is different.
So, Haley.
So different.
Explain, like, military and then how you two ended up meeting.
Okay, so I've been in the Army longer than he has. I got in, honestly, right out of high school. September of 2017 was when I left. So I was in our unit for a while, and then you came along in, like, what was that, 2021? 2020 that you came. And from then on, we've always been friends. I kind of made, like, the first move, like, interaction-wise with you.
Yeah, I think so.
That was when we were at Fort Dix for a range weekend, and I kind of made, like, the first move as in, like, going up and talking to him.
Right.
Because I thought he was a total nerd. Like, so...
I don't think I look like a nerd.
No, not like that. But you can just tell people, there's like 2 different people in the military. There's ones that buy all this gear, have like the really bougie stuff. And then there's people like me who rock out with the Army, issued stuff, and that's that. Like, I'm not spending my own money on stuff.
You're like, I'm not spending a dime more than I have to.
Yeah, literally. So he came in with his, like, cool vest and stuff, and I was like, he's a newbie, So it wasn't like I picked on him or anything.
Yeah.
But So then from then on, we were kind of just like we were just kind of like cool. It wasn't like we were really good friends or anything like that. And then we went to our annual training, which is 2 weeks. So we did that at Fort Dix, and then that's when you and I became like really good friends at that point.
Over there, yeah.
And then I think it was a month after that was when we left to go on our deployment. And then obviously we like flirted. I thought he was so cute. I had a huge crush on him. So obviously, you know, we would just like flirt and stuff like that, you know, nothing too serious. And then once we actually got in Cuba was when we started hanging out all the time. And then we were like, okay, let's see where this goes, sort of thing. And then the rest is kind of just history.
Yeah, pretty much. Spot on.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Is like having relationships like frowned upon in military?
Yes and no. So
Yeah.
there's like a big thing, you know, fraternizing, yeah, that word.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how like Romeo and Juliet this is.
So
we were good at first.
Yeah.
we were both specialists. So when you're the same rank and
we
you're
were
not
in
under,
different platoons.
Yeah, you're not under the same leadership, you're
Okay.
good to go.
Yeah.
So we were, when we got there, I was in first platoon and she was in second platoon. So it was like we didn't have the same, you know, platoon sergeant, leadership or whatever. So that was fine. And then the issue would have technically come up when she got her 5. So when she got promoted to a sergeant, then an NCO and me, a specialist, still lower enlisted.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it. But if you were in a pre-established relationship, it's fine for a year. After a year, you either have to like get married or
the other person has to get promoted.
It's either a promotion, get married, or a breakup. That's how it goes.
But I mean, like for like the first couple of months, we were like super low key. Everybody would ask me, "Oh yeah, are you and Melendez like a thing?" And I'd be like, "What are you talking about? No, we're just like best friends. We hang out all the time." And they were like, "Girl, come on." And I'm like, "No, seriously, like we're just besties, you know?"
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's like hanging out with me 24/7, and he'd be like, "Why don't you just like hold my hand?" And I'm like, "No, nobody can know. Like, I don't want to get in trouble because like for some reason with the Army, I'm just very by the book. Like I'm a square in the Army. Like I genuinely am." But then after a while, I mean, everybody knew.
What is it, like New Year's time?
Yeah.
Everyone knew, you know, and it was like, it's not like we were like doing anything like wrong either. You know what I mean? Like we were pretty much like, we weren't like crossing any boundaries with anybody. So at that point, it was like, yeah, I mean, like whatever, like we have a thing going on and we're seeing where it goes. And next thing you know, she gets promoted. But the good thing was that we were pretty vocal with our leadership, so they knew, and they're like, yeah, we're like, it's fine.
Yeah,
you guys should
wasn't affecting your guys'
right.
like,
Yeah, it's not affecting work. We don't work together at all. Like we can work.
Like we would sometimes, but like we made sure we were strictly professional.
Yeah.
Like that was that sort of thing.
So it worked out pretty good. Yeah, unlike some people, but
well,
it gets to be pretty crazy in there.
I feel like everybody knows people like that, where it's like, yeah, some people like carry themselves a different way, where it just impacts them a little bit differently than for some other people.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely agree.
So when did CrossFit come into the picture? I'll start with Michael because I think he started first.
I did, yeah. So for me, being a college athlete, I was done in 2017, and then for some,
You played baseball, right?
I did play baseball. Yeah, I played baseball up until my senior year. Had some potential opportunities playing pro ball, but it just wasn't in the cards for me. It just didn't pan out. But I still had like that drive or whatever. I wanted to do something, you know, athletic or with the body. And then for some reason I got into bodybuilding, like physique building specifically. I wasn't going to wear that freaking Speedo thong looking
the trunks.
thing. Yeah. I was just going to wear the swimming trunks and focus on the upper body because also, you know, my legs aren't that big.
You get to hide the legs.
Yeah, I get to hide the legs a little bit. But it turned out I really couldn't do it because of my nutrition. And my nutrition was really bad. So I tried it for a couple months and I was like, you know what, like I'm beating my body up. I'm not recovering correctly. I'm not, you know, my rest wasn't where it needed to be. So I was like, all right, well, I need to figure something else out. And then my friend, who happened to be my neighbor, she introduced me to a guy that did CrossFit. And so we would go lift together and stuff, and he would talk to me all about it. Hey, you know, like I lift like in the mornings, but like I'll go do CrossFit in the afternoons and whatnot. And he was like phasing out of the whole lifting era for himself. And then I went to a gym, and it was King of Prussia, but it was called like Valley Forge CrossFit or something like that.
Okay.
And I went in there, and nobody like came to the door, nobody introduced themselves, and I'm like, oh, here we go. Now it's like confirming my culty vibes. Like, oh, these people are like all about themselves. If they don't know you, they don't care about you. And then I gave it another shot. Like 2 days later, I saw another gym, Bridgeport, Pennsylvania, CrossFit KOP. And I met with Amy, and, you know, she gave me her number, and we texted for a little bit, and then she invited me for a foundational, you know, workout, just to, like, a baseline. Yeah. And we spoke a little bit about my goals and whatnot, and told her, hey, like, I want to keep that, I have that competitive drive in me. Like, I still want to do something that challenges me. And from then on, it was, 2019? July of 2019, and I just picked up and didn't drop it. I kind of got obsessed with it. So, and here I am.
Yeah. So. And at what point did you guys move over here?
August 15th
of last year.
Okay. Yeah. Well, at least I did. She's been here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then Haley, when did you jump onto the CrossFit bandwagon?
The bandwagon?
Drink the Kool-Aid?
Yeah, so kind of, actually not like you though. So once I got done with sports, went into the Army, and then, you know, like I would go to the gym and do like lifting, and like I ran all the time and stuff like that. And then we went on our deployment, and then him and I officially became like sealed deal. Yep, you and I are together. And he was like, you know, Haley, like I'm not the type of person, but you have to do CrossFit. and I said the same thing that he thought when he first started. I was like, no, I don't. I was like, I don't like, you know, the culture that they had. Like, they all seem like very standoffish, you know, like that sort of thing. And he was like, just wait, you're fine. So then it was actually a year ago this month was when I first went to my first CrossFit gym. And it wasn't sort like all the standoffishness, but it wasn't like a community vibe sort of thing. It kind of felt like people were going there, obviously we're going to say hi and be nice, not really hold a conversation, get the workout done, and then like leave right away.
Right.
And then you and Stacy opened up this gym, and Michael came once randomly, and I remember he came home and he was like, oh my God, the gym is beautiful. He was like, Coach Ben, you know, like he was critiquing me and like telling me how to do things correctly that I didn't even know that I was doing wrong. Like, I really think that you would like it. And then he talked about Stacy. He was like, I really think that you would like, you know, going to her classes because, you know, everybody's just so down to earth, and he's just like raving. And I like had just started getting comfortable. I just got out of that. I don't even know how long I did the like introduction.
No, you did. You did
course
the
thing.
You did the three foundational classes.
Yeah,
the one-on-ones.
Yeah, and I did that for almost like the whole entire month of September. I was doing that.
I think you only did classes for like a week and a half.
No, it was for it was like 2 or 3 weeks.
2 or 3. Okay.
Yeah. So I had like just gotten done doing that, so I just started getting comfortable, and I was like, man, I don't know how I feel about just like getting up and leaving and going somewhere else when I'm just starting to get comfortable.
You're like, I don't want to do this again.
Like, you're really just kicking me out of my comfort zone now. Like, you got me this far, you're trying to push me even more. But he was like, just give it a try. You know, like, that's fine. Just give it a try and let's see. So then I ended up coming to, during the first week that you guys were open, was the first class that I came to, and I was like, yep, I'm good staying here now, you know. It was like the vibe at this gym is so much different than what people try to say CrossFit gyms are like. And that was the that was the part that threw me for a loop. It was like I had all of these expectations of how like a CrossFit gym would be, and it was like nothing like that, but in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's the tough thing about CrossFit gyms is like every single one you walk into is different.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not a McDonald's where it's like, oh, you know exactly what you're gonna get every time you walk in. Like I think that's a good thing and a bad thing where it's like each one does have their own, personality and culture along with it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get a good one, or you could get one that doesn't vie with what you were expecting or what you wanted. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
glad you guys found at least
Yeah,
some
we're
of
good
what
to
you
go.
were wanting.
Yeah.
We're definitely good to go.
It was especially after, what is it, the CrossFit Open that you guys had here on the
Yeah.
Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
It was like after that where I was like, oh my goodness, these people are great. Like, definitely, like, I would prefer not to go anywhere else sort of thing. Like, I actually enjoy going to the gym and, like, talking with everybody that's there,
Yeah.
It's really good.
Do you have a topic that you'd like to request as a future show, or just a question about training? Reach out to me. My email is ben@zoarfitness.com, or you can DM me on Instagram @zoarfitness. Lastly, head over to zoarfitness.com if you want to browse all of our previous shows with in-depth show notes, as well as educational content for all things training. So you two got a lot going on between the two of you. I mean,
A lot.
just kind of like really quickly give us a snapshot of like all what's on each of your plates.
You can go first.
Well, obviously work, gym stuff, dog stuff, and more work stuff. Basically, like the shift in career, and on top
Yeah.
of that, we have military obligations. So, I mean, we have quite a few things. What do you have?
And then up until May of this year, I had school full-time. And then I was working full-time. And then wedding planning.
Oh gosh.
That was another thing, wedding
Yeah. I
planning.
I left that out on purpose.
And then
Michael's like, I didn't want to talk about it anymore. I'm done with
That
it.
was so stressful.
so then wedding, dogs, military, and then also we're very family oriented as well. So it's like every single day we're trying to spend time with our family and do stuff
Yeah.
with them as much as possible.
And also, even if like you're like super mature people and thoughtful and all the stuff that is like makes a good relationship, it's like still being freshly married is like carries his own stuff that's
Oh,
challenging.
Oh yeah. We've
So-
had a lot of transitioning stuff to do. Even the whole name change and accounts.
Oh my gosh,
and all-
yeah.
it's-
Finally got my new ID card
Yeah.
with my name.
It takes forever to switch all that stuff.
This
over.
Did it
morning,
just this morning.
finally was able to do that because
Yeah.
the first time we went, they were like, "Yeah, you don't have the stuff you need."
Yeah.
I said, "Ooh."
You like there was times where like Brooke went into like to like get like a checkup or something, and it's like your name's not in here in the system, and it's like so much of that just
It's a
takes a long
hassle.
time to transition
Right.
over.
So much.
It's definitely a hassle. But anyway, the point being, like, you guys have a lot on your plates, and you still find a way to prioritize fitness. And I'm just kind of curious of like how you guys think about fitness and like how you basically make time to like make it happen.
So I think you and I have two different outlooks on fitness, though, too. Because, like, my outlook on fitness, because I'm also doing the nutrition stuff with Stacy. So, like, that's another thing that I have. But I do it more as coming here and, number one, having the community. Like, there's so many great people here that I just love coming and having conversations with. And, like, it makes working out easier, but then also it's just like a way to keep my body moving and literally just trying to prioritize myself and like my overall health and wellness sort of thing. And then you do it, I think, for a different reason than say I would.
I could probably relate a little bit to what she said, but in terms of me, I've been literally getting up at 5 a.m. since I was in high school. My dad would wake us up and we go do kettlebell training. We do speed and agility. Like,
No way.
It's been since I was like literally a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that's like it's engraved in me. And now like if I don't do fitness, like even if I like let's say I take a week off, like I feel like I feel really bad.
And you don't hear the end of it, too.
Yeah, I feel really bad. I'm just like, I'm complaining. It was like, I know I need the rest, but I need to go to the gym. Like, it's just a matter of like a routine. But on top of that, it satisfies like my drive, you know, my competitive drive. Like again, like we've discussed, like I'm no games athlete, but like for me, it's like I still like to edge out people. Like whether it's here or like when we do the PT test for the Army, like I love being that 28-year-old that just completely just like runs everybody off the track. Like these 17, 18-year-olds that think they're like the big boys. And nah, I'm the big boy, you know? And like, so it's like those things.
Put it at the beginning of this show. I'm the big boy.
I'm the big boy. No, but it just satisfies that drive for me. And obviously like health and fitness, like I'm the first one to admit that like my nutrition isn't the best. So like for me, like I push myself to like stay in the gym and like remain sort of healthy in a way, like physically. I know that nutrition plays a role in it, and like obviously I've been trying and I'm not the best at it, but I think that's another component as to why I'm always so like focused on fitness. And to me, it's not a chore, it's not a job. Like I truly enjoy being in the gym and just again along with the community and the coaching that you provide and all that stuff, like I like to see the progression, and it's like it's addicting to me. So that's why I do it. And I won't sit here and tell you that I don't say no to people just to come to the gym. Like she asked me, hey, like, you know, we got invited out to dinner, or like, hey, can we go do this? I'm like, yeah, after the gym. Because like that's,
or we try to like plan around it.
Around the gym, yeah. Right. Because to me that's a part of what keeps me going. Because if I don't have that, then I don't really want to do a lot of stuff because it's part of my routine. Yeah,
like if we have something going on in the evening and we can't come to the evening class, which we normally do, we'll make sure that we try to go in the morning.
Yeah, I tell her all the time. I was like, oh, if we got this to do, we're going in the morning. You know,
like we just did that this week.
Yeah,
we had something to do after work, and so then we just came in the morning instead.
Yeah, but also like another thing is like it's like a double-edged sword for me, because like I love it so much that I do it too much and I overdo it, and then like I'm forced to take days off. Like some days I just wake up and I'm just like, I can't. Yeah. And so like if I'm scheduled to do something that day and I'm just like, oh crap, like I'm either in the dumps about it, or like my body's just not moving, I'll be like, all right, just breathe it out.
I was gonna say, how do you know when like it's a good time to be like, even though I have like, you know, this morning session scheduled, like I don't feel like it's a good idea for me to do that. Like, how do you decide that?
So usually, lately my sessions have been more, they've mellowed out a little bit, not as much as like two sessions, like 3 times a week. Yeah. But usually when I can tell is if I wake up in the morning, and I'm a morning person, but if I wake up and I'm just like, I'm dragging, that's my body telling me, hey, shut down, sleep, go in the afternoon, make it a 1 instead of a 2. And then sometimes like I'll go in the morning, and then if I have to do class in the afternoon, and my body just sometimes in the middle of the day, it's just like you're dying and I feel like I'm crashing, then I'll just be like, yeah, it's probably not for the best.
It's basically like this, if I do this, it's just not going to be productive or like in my best interest.
I'll probably take 10 steps backwards if I go to the gym, because then at that point I'm risking injury, and then I'm breaking form, and I'm just like, all right, if I'm not going to be in there and give it 110, then why go and risk losing. So
hey, do you feel like it's easier with like because you're like both involved in it versus like, for example, say like Michael was just going on his own and you were not going? Like it's easy, I in my mind at least, to be like resentful of like he's spending all his time at the gym, like he's like doing this stuff for him, versus like this is something that often you do together, but like it's for you essentially.
So I mean, I guess I can say I depend on him because he holds me accountable a lot, though, too. So it's like I can't resent him for prioritizing himself when he's also trying to make sure that I'm doing it for me as well. So it's kind of just like I'm not scared to tell him no. Like if I don't want to come, I will tell him. He'll be like, "Come on, like, oh, you're not going to get better if you don't go." And if I'm just not feeling it, I'd be like, "Michael, no. Sorry, but no." And when he doesn't leave me alone about it, that's when I'm like, dude, you're getting on my nerves.
Yeah.
You're up here, come down
But I feel like
here.
that can be an actual helpful, like, it's in a joking way, but it's in a way it's like that's like if that voice was never in your head, then it'd be a lot easier just to be like, I'm not going to go a lot. Whereas like he does have your best interest in mind. Sometimes it's just hard to know what's actually going through someone's head.
That was another reason why I wanted to join, shouldn't say I didn't initially want to join a gym like this. It was him that pushed me to do it. So, but like once I did start coming, it was nice because I have that accountability as well. Because like when I would go, say to like Planet Fitness or wherever and just like do weight training by myself, it was hard for me to push myself. Because, like, I do have a little bit of competitive edge. So then, when I'm coming here and I'm working out with, other people around me, it's like, oh, yeah, I can see that they're doing this at this way. Oh, I think I can do that. Or let me see if I can try it better. Or run faster, do whatever. So the resentment just essentially only comes when he's just, like, really, really bugging me about it.
Yeah.
But
I think that's safe to say. Mm-hmm. But, like, I was, like, on my end, like, when I think about it, it's because, like, I get to hear her side of things and like, I get to hear her goals and what she wants to accomplish, whether that be physically, looks-wise or, like, weight-wise, like, production and, like, I want to lift, 225 or a deadlift or whatever the case may be. So, like, I get to hear that.
215, actually.
Yeah, 215. So, and I'm like, that pumps me up. I'm like, all right, let's get it. Just because like I have that drive in me, so like I want to be that support and that push for her. I can't say here that I do it the right way all the time. Like I'm definitely very pushy, but like I think she knows that I have her best interest in mind, and I'm just there to support and push her in a positive way. Even though sometimes I'm just like, all right, like let's go, like stop being lazy. Yeah. And I'm like, get up and go to the gym. And
it's nice to be able to talk to you about it too, because like there's times where you and Stacey are coaching other people, and it's like if I have a question, I'm not going to interrupt. So instead, I'll go over and I'll ask him, like this is happening. Why why would that case be? And it's like nice to be able to go to you and like rely on you for that as well, because I still consider myself very fresh and like very much a newbie. So.
I mean, I'm kind of a newbie too.
Not really.
Well, you switched goals recently, so like,
I did. Yeah.
It was more like you kind of mentioned earlier. Like I feel like you were competitive with yourself mainly.
Yes.
Whereas like recently, sort of like as you were coming here, and I started coaching you like basically around the same time. I think it was like within the first month of you coming here that I also started coaching you individual design. That it was like you decided to basically orient yourself a little bit more towards like the competitive side of CrossFit versus just like
I'm just going to go to class
competitively like with yourself, but in like a more of a class atmosphere.
Right. Yeah.
But I feel like that was a pretty natural progression for you because just like the way that you're oriented, like you were mentioning before. Was there any like big mindset shifts or like things that you had to like reshuffle in your life to like make that happen, or like how's that process been for you?
I don't think that I allowed myself to make a huge change, because so obviously like for deployment we weren't like together like that, so I was kind of like alone with the dog, so I had like my routine already. When I was in King of Prussia, like I would go to the gym in the mornings. I would do my, I think it was like 5 or 5:30 class, and then I would go right to work, and then after work I'd go right to another gym, so I would do Muay Thai. So then that was like my routine. And then, like, coming here and then being with her, it was kind of like the same thing, because I'd be going in the morning and afternoon. And I had let her know prior, like, this is what I do. Like, I don't go out to, like, the bars. I don't do all that stuff anymore. Like, I'm over all that. Like, what I focus on is just, like, my fitness. And, like I'll play my video games. I'll do my lifting. I'll watch movies. I'll hang out with the dogs. But, like, to see me out there, like, prioritizing, like, the bar and the nightlife, like, that's just not for me anymore. So she knew that firsthand coming in. So it really wasn't difficult adjusting to living with her and life, because like that's one thing that I love about her. She's very like supportive and accommodating to like the life. Like she won't make me change anything just because like she's selfish about it. Like, I want to spend time with you. Like instead, like she comes now to the gym. Like this is part of like our time together. And with that, because of that, like now I'm able to see that, and like now I do things with her that, you know, I don't want to do. Like last night she went to watch freaking Ghost Show, and I'm like, I don't like these ghost whisperer or whatever encounters.
Ghost whisperer.
Yeah, but like, you know, she does things for me, so like I sat down on the couch and I put the Chiefs game on my iPad and I watched the show with her. You know, instead of putting the game on the big TV and having her go to the room, you know, I sat there and watched it with her. So
Yeah.
I think that's great that we have that going on. So it really wasn't much of a routine change for me. So
I just go with the flow.
yeah, pretty much.
Really? No, seriously though.
So
Well, we'll end with this. Do you guys have, and again, it doesn't have to be like crazy insightful or anything, but like practical advice if there's other couples out there trying to like navigate the fitness thing and like making it work with their life, who maybe have other priorities like you guys have, similar boat as you. Is there any like advice you'd have for them?
It's a really good question.
I mean, know what each other's motives are and what their goals are. And, you know, like if one is more into the whole gym scene more than the other, like understand that, like don't push it too much. And then it's a way, like don't look at it like as a bad way to like spend time with each other. I think it's a positive thing. Like you're both kind of encouraging, like, you know, power couple type things. Like it's a good thing. Like you guys get to spend time together at the gym, but like you're not like on each other. So it's
I
like
was just about to say
you get
that.
to be around each other in the same space with other people that become your friends and family. So it's like you're in the same space. It's a good vibe. So I think it's a great thing to have in someone's life. And it doesn't even have to be like fitness or whatever their thing is that they can do. And also just like compromising too, you know, like there are times where like you need to take off and you need to have a date night, or like you need to go spend time with your family. Like there's times where like, you know, I have to go, what is it? I think it's in a couple of weeks. Like I want to go see my niece, you know, with this whole state policing that I have going on. Like I want to go see my family before like I'm gone for like 6 months. So it's like those little things, like compromise, be thoughtful, and just create that routine. And once you have that routine, like you don't have to follow it to a T, but like have it be like a priority. So like this is what we do every day. Like we do this, we go to the work, and then we do that. Take care of the dogs, or whatever the case may be. Just like follow that routine. And if it has to break, then like just have like a common understanding of like why we're breaking it and why we're doing this and why we're doing that. But other than that, it's just like making sure that you guys are on the same page. You know, like from the very beginning, like she knew that fitness was like 80% of my life. So it's like she understood that going in. And as long as you understand each other and you're supportive, I mean, I don't think it should be an issue. Just understand your priorities and go from there.
I mean, I was literally just going to say the same exact thing, that, you know, this can be something that you do together, but not like directly together. Like you can
Like side by side.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like we can do. The other morning we came here, we did the workout side by side, but it was like, you know, he was front squatting 100+ pounds more than me, so clearly I got done with the front squat sooner than he did. But it was like we're still, you know, doing it together, just like not, oh, I have to sit and wait for you and you have to wait for me, you know. It's like, and it's like nice to be able to be there directly with each other and challenging each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing that I think is really important too. It's like what he said, don't be pushy, but, you know, challenge each other and, you know, be that support system that, you know, every couple needs. Everybody's different, you know, but I understand that he does it more competitively than I would, and I understand that, and I support that. And, you know, if he goes to competitions and if I can be there, I'll be there. But if I can't, because I the one time I had drill and couldn't get out of it.
When we do the bar crawl, she
I
has to go away
I have to go to drill, but
Yeah.
you know, he's able to be here and do that. But, you know, it's just like,
That's another thing,
what?
the sacrifice. Like in like when you're together, like with somebody, like sometimes you just have to sacrifice one thing or the other, and like you might not be together. Like, you might not agree on like, oh, like this sucks. Like, I want you to be here, but like, you know, it's kind of part of it.
Yeah.
So, but routine-wise, it's just understanding it. It's not hard, honestly. It can get overwhelming at times, but like, for me, like, I don't know how it is for you.
It's probably hard, but it's not complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's a way of putting it. And I would say it's not complicated for me is because like I prioritize this more than anything. Like, and like, you know, like a 9-to-5 job, like that's always there. You know what I mean? Like that part of that big chunk of your day is at work, whether you're with somebody or you're not. It's like what you do outside of that kind of like shifts around, but I prioritize it. So
Mainly, just like the biggest advice is just finding your routine.
I think
It's
that's
like,
huge.
If you're both morning people, maybe try out just going to the morning instead. If you both like enjoying your evenings together, like, you know, it's just like finding your own groove, and you know, you don't always have to stick to it. You can, you know, veer off and try different things, but it's like just look at it as a way to be involved in something together, but not needing to be attached at the hip.
Yeah, we don't
Because
gotta
it's
hold
like we can
hands.
come here to the gym and it's like I don't need to talk to him if I don't have to. You know, there's plenty of other people here that I like having conversations with. I don't need to be at his hip and you know, rely on him to be my emotional support, you know, like, you know.
We get enough of that. And that's another thing. Like for us, it's like I think it's different for us too, because like we literally work out together. We work together. We are in the same army unit. Like everything we do is together. So I think it's great. Like we have our routine and it's awesome. Like we make it work and it works for us. But like I can't sit here and tell you that, you know, when she went out on last Friday with her sister to dinner, I can't tell you that I wasn't happy that I was here at the gym and I went home and played Call of Duty by myself for an hour or two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sometimes you need your me time. And I think that in terms of like the compromise and understanding, like we're really good with that. Like if we need our own space, like it doesn't mean that I need to go out and be without you. Like I can be in the other room playing Call of Duty. You could be watching TV in the living room and I'd be content with that. Like, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just those things. So I think all in all, find your routine and then go from there. But just have that routine because that helps a lot.
Solid advice, guys. Thanks
There's
for
a
doing
lot
this
of
today.
talking. We just kind of like veered off a little bit. We were just like, oh yeah.
I know. Oh well. We kind of
We're
do that a
talkers.
lot.
We're
yeah, we
talkers.
do talk a lot
Really bad.
sometimes. That's okay.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you want that. You don't want somebody who's just going to sit here and not talk at all.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Well, thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right.
Thanks for listening today. If you're someone who just started listening to the show, I would encourage you to subscribe so you can stay up to date. If you're someone who's been listening for a while, I would encourage you to rate and review the show. And lastly, the best thing that you can do to support our work is also the best thing that you can do for your performance. And that is by hiring one of our coaches. Until next time, stay the course.